You're listening to Dramas Over Flowers. This is an episode of What's Up in Dramaland with Saya, Anisa, and Boromir. Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Saya. In this episode, we'll be taking a quick look at current industry news as it pertains to K-drama fans, and we'll be updating you with the dramas set to premiere in the month ahead. This podcast is a project by fans for fans. If you want to be a part of making that dream grow, there are a whole lot of ways you can help. You can share our episodes on fan sites and social media, talk about the podcast to your K-drama loving friends, or leave a review on iTunes or whichever app or platform that you use to listen to us. And if you want to help us keep our lights on, you can check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/dramasoverflowers. Finally, you can get in touch with us with your thoughts and ideas. We're always reading the comments on YouTube and Drama Beans, but you can also tweet at us at dramasoverflow or email us at dramasoverflowers@gmail.com. And that's it from me. Enjoy the episode and tell us what you're looking forward to. Bye. Hi everyone, this is Saya.
This is Anisa.
And this is just me.
You are so good at this! I'm so excited!
So proud!
So we've got a guest with us today who has brilliantly picked up our rhythm without us even prompting her. Long-time listener, long-time friend, and a member of the Drama Beans community who we talk to all the time. And I had the pleasure of meeting in person last year. And tell us a little bit about yourself, Jess.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was way too excited for a second. Hi everyone, my name is Just Me. I go by Just Me again on Drama Beans, and I've been an avid drama watcher since maybe early 2016, and I love to discuss issues involving dramas. That's about it.
Yay! And Am I allowed to say that it's nice to have a fellow Canadian on the podcast?
I mean, well, it is nice, so I guess so.
I was looking for a way to insert the fact that you're fellow countrywomen, so thank you. So we can sort of jump right in on the news, I think, which has been fun/unfun, depending on which side you're on. I guess we'll start with the most breaking news, which is it's just broke yesterday. Hye-sun and Ahn Jae-hyun divorce. Part of me wants to go yippee just because yippee more divorce, but obviously it's not yippee. I'm not going to be surprised anymore, so hey, here's another one for the books.
Well, you know what? From a person who loves to enjoy drama or anything happening around me, I understand the yippee kind of point of view. Ooh, the tea has been spilled, you know? I saw, I was like, ooh, and then, all the gifs that come off, and I mean, it's exciting from that point of view, but when you think about what really happened, and the tweets that came out and whatnot, or was it tweets or messages between them?
Hye-sun posted screenshots of her private texts with her husband, which I have to say I don't feel very positively about. I feel like there are lines you shouldn't cross. However messy and ugly your breakups are, there are things that have to remain private between people, and your texts between yourselves should be part of that. So that kind of I don't like it. I feel like it's not classy.
No, but it wasn't classy from his part as well, for him, I don't know, disregarding the mother. But honestly, I have no say in it when I really don't know what the story is in general.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot behind the whole, what brought both of them to those points. We don't know. We don't know that. No. But it's that feeling of seeing people's dirty laundry that it's just uncomfortable. And you're like, I get that this is obviously very difficult for both of you, and both of you are hurt by different things but we don't know about it. So to sort of get a sliver of a story that is just, just private things should be private, and I feel like that's a breach of trust too far.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot that's already happened between them, but you just don't put it on social media. What are you trying to achieve? And it doesn't actually make you look better. It actually reflects poorly on you.
The thing is about social media, the thing with celebrities and social media is, on one hand, you would think that they would know better just because, of the amount of catastrophic social media posts that we've seen and, the kind of effects that have had in the past. But on the other hand, I feel like when you get to that level of celebrity, your idea of public and private, like those lines become kind of blurred because you live so much of your life in the public eye. And especially with these two, they met while they were shooting Blood. They were romantic leads of that. So they fell in love while they were shooting. And I'm always kind of like, well, that's another thing that I will get to in a second. But they met while they were shooting a drama together. Then they did the Newlywed Diary, which was like basically a reality show about their newlywed life. So they've lived so much of their relationship already on screen. So I wonder if that kind of warps your idea of what you should share in public and what you shouldn't. Like celebrity it does a lot of weird things to your brain. So I can't imagine how that would make you feel. But the other thing is, and I was thinking about this because we just had the news of the Song couple like a couple months ago, that a lot of times I really worry about the couples that meet while they're shooting a drama together and they're like falling in love in the drama. And like there's psychological studies that have showed that you do tend to fall in love when you're acting like you're falling in love, like you have those physiological responses. And so, I mean, when you meet somebody in that situation and then you immediately marry them, I just don't know if that's good long term. Because I mean, it's not necessarily bad to get married quickly. Lots of people do that and they get married happily and they stay together and it works well for them. But it's just that particular way of meeting someone where you're not necessarily meeting in a very normal circumstance, that I don't know, it's like hard to get to know somebody in a real way because it's also manufactured. Like you have all of your romantic moments manufactured for you.
Okay, I haven't seen any K-drama couples now that they've all been broken up, But for example, The Bachelor, the American show, there are couples that have lasted, and their whole foundation is that they've met on screen. So there's a skewed line of what's real or not, because every moment together was on screen and that's the foundation of their relationship. But I guess some of it could be real, and I really wouldn't know. But there are couples that
I don't follow The Bachelor as much, so I didn't know that. But I get what you're saying. Like there's possibility for you to get to know somebody even in like really weird circumstances. But ultimately I think it's just a lot of pressure, right? Like a lot of pressure for them.
Yeah.
I do wonder, like with actors in particular, about especially younger actors, considering that the romance that they play out in their roles, and especially when they're young, it could be that is even their earliest experiences of romance. Like, it's this manufactured show of romance, and I wonder how that affects their real-world view of how a relationship ought to play out. Because they're constantly playing out, like, a drama relationship. But, like, does that... Like, I don't, in the sense that I'm not saying this well.
No, I know what you mean.
Those people, when they go away, what are their concepts of a real relationship like? Because do they then expect their romance to be in sweeping romantic moments? Because dramas don't show the sort of the everyday grind of a relationship. Whereas that is a huge part of relationships, is that there is that kind of element of the work element to it. And this could be the same for consumers of those same stories, is that if you start seeing the entirety of a relationship as a series of moments and tropes, is it because you've misunderstood how a relationship is, that when it then turns out not to be that sort of idealized thing, that it's difficult to maintain it because it's not what you expected it to be and it's not what you want?
Well, that's a whole other can of beans there.
But it's something I've wondered on and off over the years about how that affects sort of your idea of, a romance or what a relationship should be.
You'd think that, actors, they're professional, right? I mean, Anisa has been saying, about psychology studies and whatnot, but when you see sometimes the BTS of scenes or whatnot, they're filming, and then the moment they say cut, the actors literally like just separate. And I think they don't just fall in love from, the manufactured scenes that are on screen, but also behind the camera as well. They spend lots of time rehearsing and whatnot together. So it's like just the fact of proximity, forced proximity, maybe that might have an effect on on the
And
relationship.
the fact that it is, in a way, a kind of a learned behavior. It's like a social behavior that you learn, and then you practice in other contexts where it seems like the appropriate way to do it. So who knows? But also the other thing that comes to mind is, I think it's Gong Hyo-jin who said about whenever she would do a drama with a romantic drama, she would truly have to fall in love a little bit with that person to do that role.
I remember, have you guys ever seen the American show The Office?
No.
I have not. I watched a few episodes of the British one, and it made me cringe so hard that I couldn't watch the American show.
Well, the American one is notoriously better, but anyway, the actress who plays one of the characters, her character's name is Pam, and the actress was saying that her character had fallen in love with another character in the show, and she said that even though it was my character, I was to a certain extent in love with the other actor, even if the other actor was married, and his character was technically married to her character. So, I mean, I get it, you know?
I was going to say there are also actors who say they don't, that it's all acting and, they don't have an emotional connection, they're just performing it, which is, that's the different ways in which actors approach their work. So for some people, they have to.
It's probably down to your personality too, right? And I wouldn't want to say that these people are not professionals, and that I'm not trying to say that they don't have agency in their own relationships. I think that would be really...
But I mean, that's part of how they carry out their job.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm sure that there's something extra going on there because of the way that they meet. So anyway, I just don't want to get too deep into psychoanalyzing people that we've never met. But, and obviously we don't know in this situation what exactly happened between them. And they did get married very young. I remember when they got married, everyone was like, wow, they're super young. This is very unusual.
But everyone also cheered them on. You were like, this is actually, good for you.
I wasn't in the scene back then. I wasn't following K-drama, so I didn't even know they had filmed a show together. But anyway, it's always sad to hear this kind of news.
Yeah, it's not yippee. Let me just make that clear. No, and just because we didn't say this, and in case anyone is unfamiliar, Hye-sun is the lead actress in Boys Over Flowers, where she played the role of Jandi.
That's right.
And Ahn Jae-hyun's most notable role was probably as Jung Ji-hyun's little brother in You From Another Star.
Yeah.
I think he was also in Cinderella and the Four Knights or something.
Oh, yeah. But that's completely not on my radar because I watched one episode and I was so bored that I dropped it. I was like, forget this.
This is a weird thing to say, but while we're still speaking of divorce, you want to just introduce the next story, Saya?
Right, so this is kind of in the wake of Song Joong-ki, Song Hye-kyo's divorce, that apparently dramas are now adding, or they're considering adding divorce clauses to their contracts, so that should one of the lead actors, I think, divorce during the show, they would then have to compensate the production by 3 times their salary, because it could adversely affect their ratings. And I think this is particularly kind of relevant with Asadal Chronicles, which is Song Joong-ki's recently finished drama, which didn't do that well, which I kind of think isn't really entirely down to the divorce story breaking. Yeah, and also because he's lost a lot of endorsements and stuff, and surprisingly, he seems to have come off worse in the wake of their divorce. Song Hye-kyo's doing all right, but yeah, he's lost quite a lot of his endorsements and things. So it's a risk that, with a big name like that, having, I guess it is essentially a scandal for them. It would have a knock-on effect on the entire show. So to sort of mitigate that, they're putting these clauses into actors' contracts now. So I guess that's going to be a thing going forward, and it makes sense, to be honest. I mean, you can keep something under wraps for a couple of months until your drama finishes.
I think that's horrible, though. But I mean, it's a job. I don't know. It's horrible.
But the thing is, Korean entertainment is so much about image. So anything that dents that image, even if it's something that is just, a part of life that sometimes you just have to do, even that carries risks for other people. So I think I can see why you would do that. I'm not quite sure how good or bad I think it is, but I can see why.
I guess I see that if you're looking at it from a solely business perspective, but in the case of a live shoot where you might only have to sit on the news for a couple of months, like that might be doable. But imagine if you're doing a pre-produced drama and you get divorced like in the middle of shooting, and then, or like you just decide to get divorced or things don't work out, and then you have to wait like a year before you're allowed to say anything publicly. Like, I think that puts way too much pressure on the actors on something that's like their personal life. And I know that image works differently in Korea, and I understand that like it's considered to be a scandal and it can cause problems for the show, but I don't know, like that, it seems like too much of a, like 3 times their salary, like that's,
I guess that's just to make them not do it.
I feel like the fundamental rights of the actors are impeded upon. I think that's the word. Like, for example, when you're hiring someone, you're not allowed to ask about their personal life. Are you single, or are you expecting an infant or whatnot? Like,
yeah, although those rules don't exist in South Korea. They definitely ask them in interviews. They definitely ask women, like, do you have a boyfriend? Because they want to know if she's at risk for getting married and leaving the job. So, I mean, that's a whole other
can of beans.
A whole other issues. Yeah, a whole other can of beans.
Aren't they? Isn't that they're not officially allowed to ask, but they ask anyway?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's actually illegal the way it is in North America, or if it's not illegal, or if it is illegal and it's just everyone ignores it. I don't know I just know that that's a thing that goes on in interviews. And I know that a lot of people are trying to make those types of things better. There have been some laws passed in recent years, and there's like activists and feminists who are trying to like, so obviously like we can't make these generalizations as though everything is set in stone, which is also why I'm sometimes wary of people saying, yeah, but like in Korea things are different. This is just a social norm over there, because I think that's like essentializing the culture in some ways.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know if anyone else has noticed, and I noticed this actually without understanding why, but has anyone noticed the paucity of Monday, Tuesday dramas? That's because SBS and NBC have pretty much sort of scrapped their Monday, Tuesday drama slot, and we've got KBS now also planning to scrap that after one and a half more dramas. So after Tale of Nokdu, which we'll talk about later, it's also going to sort of vacate that slot for dramas, which is an interesting change, because the Monday Tuesday slot didn't even exist about 5 or 6 years ago. And also in that time we've had the introduction of the Friday Saturday slot, which also didn't exist until very recently. The majority of primetime Big 3 dramas seem to be gearing for the Wednesday Thursday slots, and you've got more Saturday Sunday primetime dramas right now as well. So it's an interesting change. It's a bit sort of mentally weird for me. What do you guys think?
Well, I honestly like Monday, Tuesday, the time slot, because, you know, Monday is like you're going back to work. It's mundane. So you come back home and you kind of want to watch something. So you have a drama there for you. So, I mean, I think it would be sad, but are they going to replace it with variety or what?
It looks like one of them is going to be a variety slot. And also, they're not scrapping it completely. I think it's like until February or something, and then they might sort of reassess that decision. I guess we'll see. I kind of liked, you know, have you ever had those cycles where you have a drama on every day of the week? We won't have those anymore.
Well, I mean, I have them during my off times, you know, every day of the week. But then sometimes, you know, like, for example, this August or this July or this coming September, it'll be way too much to handle. So it's kind of like a good thing and a bad thing. And I think we can get used to both. It's just, I like the Monday, you know? The Monday is like
yeah, there are some weeks when that Monday drama that you're really loving right now is the only reason to even look forward to Monday. So, but there are also way too many shows airing right now, and it's hard to keep up with.
It's also that they're all airing at like the same time, which is, what is it? Wednesday, Thursday has like 4 shows that I'm interested in, and I can't follow them all in real time. So I have to space them out anyway, but then you kind of lose the fun of watching things live. So yeah, and like I'm thinking about it, and many of my favorite shows have been Monday, Tuesday dramas. Like Healer was a Monday, Tuesday, and that was like, that really made my Mondays.
I actually like the Friday, Saturday time slot the best. And they're more rare, I find.
Yeah, I think a lot of the TVN, the really big hit TVN dramas have been Friday, Saturday. Like the Answer Me series. Yeah, some of those really big
Go back
rating
couple.
hits. I think Sky Castle was also Friday, Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
Signal was also, yeah.
I think TV networks occasionally just shift things around just to see if things work better another way. And sometimes they just like go back to what they were doing before because it doesn't work out. So who knows if this will even stick.
To be seen.
Yes, to be seen.
I think that covers all of our sort of big-ish news. Oh, did you guys know, and maybe you don't care, but did you know that there was a Romantic Doctor Teacher Kim season 2?
I never watched the first one, so to be excited for the second.
Yeah, I also didn't watch the first one, so I'm not like...
Okay, Anisa, you don't watch medical dramas, but JustMe, you have to like go and check this out. You may even find a professional interest in this. So it was one of my favorite shows, and why is there no there's no press about this. It has not been. Like, I've been searching for news up and down, and there just hasn't been much reported about it. Yeah, so
I wonder if that's because it was a really big hit in Korea, but it wasn't as big of a hit in the international drama fandom, if I can remember correctly.
Was it not? I feel like it was because it was for me.
No, I mean, I feel like there was a very vocal and passionate fandom, but it wasn't like Goblin levels, you know?
Oh, no, definitely not. I mean, it's a genre drama, so it's, you know.
But I feel like it had really good ratings in Korea, so maybe you need to be checking the Korean language news.
Maybe when I become more fluent.
Get out your Korean English dictionary, Saya. You can do it.
Or you could just use your Chrome extension, which just translates everything.
Honestly, the Google Translate or the Chrome Translate works pretty well.
Does it work?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's you have to sometimes like figure out a few words here and there, but it gives you the gist of what the article is saying.
Yeah.
Well, good to know.
I haven't used it myself, but I've heard this from other people, so it is quite handy to know.
I've never fallen for the medical genre, to be honest. I find it very I don't know.
I hate medical dramas with burning passion, so I'm never gonna watch it.
I have to say, this is an untraditional medical drama. This is so much more about the characters and the people, and it's like there's a reason why it was so popular. It was very character driven.
I actually did watch either the first episode or the first 2 episodes, but like something about it really put me off.
Yeah, the first 2 episodes weren't great. I remember that because I didn't really like it from the first 2 either. This had a Sohyun-jin, and I just really didn't like her character in that show.
Yeah, I didn't like her either. So I never continued.
But then you had... Yeah, it did. Like, the first 2 episodes were not its best, but after that, it got really good.
And it had, what's his name? Chilbongi. I don't remember his real name.
Yoo Yeon-suk and Yang Se-jung were... That was Yang Se-jung's first TV appearance. It wasn't his first acting role, because that was Saimdang, except that was pre-produced. So Saimdang aired after that, but this aired first. It was his second sort of acting job. Mm-hmm. So you get to see a very stiff Yang Se-jung in this, which is really fun as well. Because he's so unlikable in this, but he's so endearing in everything he does afterwards. So it's a little fun time capsule kind of thing as well. But in the season 2, apparently you've got Ahn Jae-hyun involved, so he may be one of the lead roles. Jin Kyung and Kim Hee-soo maybe. So apparently Kim Hee-soo is in talks to join this, so that could be interesting.
Oh. I mean, I love Kim Hee-soo.
Suddenly you want to watch it, right?
Yeah.
I'm guilty of as you name the names, I'm Googling their images because I'm really
Ahn Jae-sub is the 30but17 Chan.
That I know.
Abyss Boy. Yeah. Jin Kyung is she is in Pinocchio she was the mum. She does lots of those kinds of sort of tough, prickly women roles. She's good. She's very good.
Pretty. I just googled her.
Like she can also be very depending on the character, she can be really hateful or she can be really endearing.
Yeah. She's very talented.
She's really a chameleon. She's great with all of her roles. And the last thing, which very quickly, because I just saw this before we started recording, which is that SDCC San Diego Comic Con, which happened a couple of weeks ago, aired the trailer for the US adaptation of Snowpiercer, which I just
The
watched,
trailer or the movie?
this morning, and it looks kind of interesting. The trailer of the of the American adaptation, which we talked about many months ago.
Yeah.
About it being adapted from the original Korean movie by Bong Joon-ho. So that's something that's coming up and looks kind of interesting, but also I'm not quite sure because it also had lots of people having, sexy times, which are not that fun for me. So I may not watch it, but it looks kind of very sci-fi, very high budget, and that's a thing. I may check it out.
I mean, Orphan Black has a lot. I haven't watched Orphan Black, but the director of Orphan Black is doing this, and that's got a really amazing reputation. Like, people say that it's really good, and it's also got a pretty amazing cast. So, I mean,
and it's already had a season 2 ordered. So,
before we move on to upcoming, though, I just wanted to say that I was not informed that you guys were going to talk about Mulan without me last month, so I'm very upset about that. And I just have a couple things to say. So, my sister actually FaceTimed me from Australia. She was like, "You should have been on this episode." I was like, "Oh." But no, it was really good discussion. I enjoyed listening to it. I just wanted to say that I think one aspect of the issue about how this version of Mulan, which is I'm assuming that everyone listened to it, but I shouldn't do that. So they discussed the new 2020 version of Mulan that's coming out.
The live action adaptation.
And it's much more focusing on a Chinese aesthetic, I guess, rather than a Chinese American aesthetic. What does that even mean? I don't know. But the lead actress is actually from China, and it looks really cool. But I think the issue that I had with it was not only that they're doing something that's more centered towards Chinese, Chinese nationals, but I think it's the absence of Chinese Americans in the production team, because I don't think having a white writers and directors and then Chinese actors and Chinese production partners, I don't think is a neutral decision. And they could have easily hired an Asian American director for this movie, and they did not. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to try to be more authentic, but when you're making an American movie, but you ignore the Chinese American experience. And I know that the original Disney Mulan was not really received as well in China as it was by Asian Americans. But China's made plenty of Mulan versions on their own. There's multiple Chinese adaptations of that legend, and they're awesome. It would have been nice to have I like that they're doing something a little different with this, and it looks amazing. But it does make me sad that they're not including any Asian American voices, either in the cast or in the writing and the directing.
Do you think that the production team is trying to please the wrong people?
Oh, definitely. The Hollywood is very much focused on getting that Chinese box office money. And that's why you have random cameos in big budget movies now. Almost every big budget movie, there'll be some kind of, they will try to cast a Chinese movie star because they want, I don't know, in these big ones like Fast and the Furious and the Transformers movies. And what was that movie with The Rock that crashed and burned? Skyscraper? Those kind of movies, they are definitely, and I think it's good to be more diverse, definitely. But there's a difference between actually trying to cast more diverse people from your own nation that never get roles and cherry picking
token diversity.
Yeah, and cherry picking really famous movie stars from the market where you were hoping to make tons of money, and also where your Chinese investors are located because you want them to give you more money,
I think there's also when you try so hard to be inclusive, it becomes exclusive. Is that a good way of saying it? They're trying really, 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 really hard to get all that, Chinese cast that, they forgot other aspects of it.
But are they genuinely trying to be inclusive? I think is the point that perhaps Anisa is making, is that their inclusivity is contingent on whether it pleases the Chinese box office, not whether it actually genuinely includes people who have a connection to the story.
Most Americans don't understand that there's a difference between Asians and Asian Americans. Culturally, there's a huge difference. but they tend to just lump them together,
Yeah.
especially like Hollywood constantly. And so like that was one thing that I really loved about Crazy Rich Asians, that they did make and that was because it was an Asian American director that, and writer, and it was purely, and there were, Chinese actors and, so like it's not like it only represented one perspective, but there was a deep understanding in that movie of the difference between a Chinese American person and someone who grew up in Asia. And I mean, that one's not set in China, it's set in Singapore, but like, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but I mean, because that's the difference that we take for granted, like the three of us, I'm sure, because like we even have words for those.
Yeah.
We're like, I mean, they're not necessarily complimentary words, but like when we say things like, oh, a freshie, we mean something specific. We mean that person didn't grow up here. So it's
Is that the UK equivalent of a fob? Is that what you guys say?
Yeah, I mean, fresh off the boat is, we say freshie here, like they're fresh.
Oh, that's what it means. Oh, okay.
So like, that person's fresh, which is not necessarily, like, it's not an insult necessarily. It's a descriptor. It's a way that we differentiate between what we are and what they are.
Yeah, I mean, someone who has a diasporic experience, it's necessarily a very different experience than growing up in one place your whole life as part of the majority. That's just the reality.
Yeah, and also people who migrate here as adults who did not grow up here, totally different experience, and we recognize that, like, without ever having to talk about it, whereas people on the outside might not. It didn't occur to me that was something that might need to be explained to people on the outside, but obviously it does, or it doesn't, because who cares? But that is a difference. That's very interesting point.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to give my little 2 cents, $3, whatever it might be.
And some change.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm still very excited for this movie. I'm going to watch it, obviously. Disney owns all of our souls, but I just wanted to.
I mean, I'm just slightly sad that they won't be including all the songs that I really loved, in the original animated version.
I was originally kind of disappointed about that, but after watching the soulless remakes of Aladdin and The Lion King, I'm kind of glad that they're doing something completely and totally different with this, and not trying to do like a pale imitation of a movie that we'll always love more, Like we still will always have the 1998 Mulan, so.
It does seem like they're always doing sort of a beat-by-beat reproduction of the original rather than...
The Lion King was so disappointing, oh my god.
I'm glad I didn't watch it.
It's like the same movie, but not as good.
It ruins the magic.
Yeah. So at least, we'll always have the original animated Mulan to enjoy. That's not going to take away from it, so... All right. I'm sorry. I was like, we don't have much time, and then I started this long thing.
Well, you've been holding it in for a month, so, I think you deserve your 7 minutes.
I have.
So I guess we can start the new premieres?
Yes, let's start talking about the upcoming dramas of September. So there are a lot of really... I don't know what it is about September specifically, but there's a lot of conflicting information about air dates. There's a lot of dramas that don't have a specific air date. I don't know why that is, but I scoured multiple sources, and I went to like the Korean source. So I mean, I did my best, but just an FYI to our listeners, like some of these might change, they might be inaccurate, so apologies, but as best as I can figure out, these are the September dramas, excluding dailies and weekends.
Also, before we go into September's, there's a drama that's been pulled forward from September to August, which we actually haven't talked about because it was meant to be this month, which is a Song Seung-un's show, the great show. Song Seung-un, Lee Sung-bin, the one where he's a politician, disgraced politician, I think, who gets landed with a kid, which I'm actually really looking forward to. So that's one that's coming up at the very end of August.
They switched it out with Moon Gun-young's, what was supposed to be her like drama comeback after her compartment syndrome. She was away from dramas for a while. She's done a movie, but she hasn't done a drama in like 4 years. So I think they wanted more time to shoot that one. That was like what's it called? Catch the Ghost, I think.
That's right, yeah, which we talked about last month, I think.
So instead of that, they're putting this one in. It actually looks cute. He like adopts a family and tries to reform himself into like a decent politician. I kind of...
And Sung Seung is really, like, his comedy chops are so funny.
It's giving me My Fellow Citizen vibes.
Yeah, except with babies. children. Yeah, no, definitely. It looks
Kind of like the comedy version of Prime Minister and I or something,
I mean,
which was not a good show.
I
but
know I won't be having time to watch it, but I'll be looking from afar to see how it goes.
I'll fill you in, because I definitely will be.
Okay, yeah. Send us screen caps of the dimples.
Good.
And the eyelashes.
Oh, yes. So the first drama on the list is on September 16th on JTBC. It's called Flower Crew, Joseon Marriage Agency. So it stars Kim Min-jae, Gong Seung-yeon, and So Ji-hoon. And I just want to say, like, this sounds adorable.
It really does. And the cast is so good.
It is. So the plot is basically that there's a blacksmith who suddenly becomes a king.
Cute.
But he has a first love named Ketong, which, like, if you don't know, Ketong means dog poop. Yeah. but she is, obviously her name is Ketong, so she's like a very low class person. So she can't marry her anymore because now he's the king. So he hires this matchmaking agency, Joseon Flower Crew, to turn her into a noble lady so he can marry her.
Oh my god, that sounds so
Well, if he can become a king, she can become a noble.
Yeah, it's based on a novel.
My Fair Lady. This is like My Fair Lady.
It kind of is, except, like, I don't know if he knew that he was royal. I'm guessing that he's, like, one of those, like, forgotten children that was, like, foisted off into the countryside, and now he's, like, suddenly... So maybe he also doesn't... So maybe they both have to My Fair Lady and Gentleman themselves so that they can fit into the
this
palace.
is gonna... I hope it's lighthearted. You know, like how it is with the Rookie Historian show that's going on right now. I hope it's as lighthearted as that.
Which I love so much.
And you're right. This will only work if it's very lighthearted and comedic and adorable.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, Splish Splash Love vibe.
Yeah.
Or like 100 Days My Prince, which I didn't watch, but it's kind of makes me think of.
No, that one was not as lighthearted.
Okay.
No.
Well, it's based on a novel, so at least, like, we know
Decent
that there's
source material.
You know, something to go from. So hopefully it won't crash and burn.
Also, I'm really excited to see So Ji-hoon do this role because you guys, I don't know if you watched Solomon's Perjury.
I have not.
Okay, but remember
No.
in School 2017, he was the guitar guy. So he didn't have much to do in there, but he's really good. Like in
Yes.
Solomon's Perjury, he's really good. So yeah, I'm excited about this whole cast. I think they're really... It's like this young, fresh cast, and Kim Min-jae, who's...
Now she has like four potential, partners. You know, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Why is it always 4? It's like another Joseon F4 again. Next one is When the Camelia Blooms. It's premiering September 18th on KBS. Wednesday, Thursday drama. We don't know what the episode length will be yet, like the series length, but it stars Gong Hyo-jin, Kang Han-ul, Kim Ji-suk, and Son Dan-bi. This is Kang Han-ul's return from
Army comeback!
Yes, exactly. So we have to watch it, obviously.
I really like him.
I do too.
I really dig this pairing.
No, I don't.
You don't?
Oh, why not? Sacrilege!
I have something against Gong Hyo-jin.
How come?
She hasn't done anything
How
wrong.
can you
It's
not
just-
love her? She's like the most lovable.
Exactly. Because everyone loves her, I feel like I have a duty to not like her because I'm
I
Interesting.
actually feel like she's not lovable. I feel like she specializes in picking roles that are not particularly lovable, and then sort of...
But she's so lovable that she makes those unlikable characters lovable. That's the magic of Gong Hyo-jin.
stop loving her.
It's okay. You know what though? Like, I have an irrational dislike of Seo Kang-joon, so like it's totally fine. Sometimes an actor just doesn't jive with you.
I mean, she's really good. I just don't like her. There's she's pretty. I just don't like her.
Yeah, it's okay. So the summary of the storyline, before we start talking too much about the actors, I just wanted to say the summary. It's a romantic thriller comedy about the realistic, passionate love between 3 couples. The drama will follow the story of a woman named Dong-baek and show how her life is tangled up with a good man, a bad man, and a cheap man.
Oh, dang it. That sounds cool.
It does, right?
I'm digging the cheap man.
Right?
Which one's the cheap man? Tell me that's Kang Han-ul.
I want Kim Ji-suk to be the cheap man because he's hilarious.
That's true, but that means that he's not. I mean, I want the cheap man to be Endgame.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that would. Yeah. Okay.
No, Kang Han-ul will be the good guy. The bad man will be Song.
That's too boring.
I mean, he's gonna be the good guy because why? Honestly, because he's younger than her, isn't she? Isn't he?
Yeah, it's a Nuna romance.
So why would she try to go for a bad guy that's also younger than her? Like, there's so many.
But isn't it more subversive to go for the cheap guy?
I mean, yeah, I want her to be with the cheap guy as well, you know. But
maybe she should just take turns and be like, jealousy incarnate all
well,
over
this
again.
is the screenwriter for Fight My Way, so I have high hopes for the writing.
So it could go really well.
And the director worked on Are You a Human Too and Uncontrollably Fond, which I think had good directing, right? I didn't watch those, but...
Are You Human Too was like a cheap summer, not cheap, just like a summer blockbuster. That's what I would say about it. But the directing was pretty good. Uncontrollably Fond, I've never watched.
I haven't watched it either, but the screen caps I saw looked very pretty. Yeah, so I'm guessing the directing was decent.
Although that did go very mukjang very quickly, didn't it? I mean, it started off pretty mukjang, so...
I still can't forgive that drama for giving Kim Woo-bin cancer, and then he had cancer in real life, so... that makes me sad. That just makes me, really sad.
But the drama didn't...
No, I know, but...
the acting was close to home.
I have weird feelings when it comes to Kim Woo-bin, okay? Like, I just want to protect him from the world and from life.
Well, he's got Shin Minute for that.
Yeah, so... Anyway, but no, he's doing better now, so all is forgiven. He's healing, which is really nice. The next one is got a really strange title. The literal title is Running Investigators. The official English title is The Running Mates, Human Rights. I don't understand, but okay. September 18th, OCN, Wednesday, Thursday. It stars Eo-won and Chae-gui-ha, and it's basically about a human rights commission investigators who they don't have the right to investigate or prosecute, but they're kind of overseeing things. And the thing that was kind of interesting to me about this storyline at this particular point in time is the organization that's really looking into all of this Burning Sun stuff is like I don't know if it's like the Civil Rights Commission or something similar. So I'm wondering if they're drawing some kind of parallel to that. And if they're going to be talking about like corrupt police and prosecutors and government agencies and stuff.
Aren't we maxed out with corrupt prosecutors and law enforcement?
I mean, if that's what the people want,
maybe we're not.
That's what the drama is going to give them, right?
That's true. I mean, I'm like lapping up Watcher, which is like exactly that. So maybe I just feel like I've had the perfect drama for that, and nothing else will top it.
I mean, I'm watching Class of Lies right now, which kind of falls into the same category. And honestly, I'm really enjoying it. But this drama is not it's not calling my name.
It's also like the cast is not particularly exciting either. So, and it's an OCN drama, which then again, those are kind of hit and miss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it being an OCN drama, it could be really, really good, or it could be bad guys too. So
yeah.
I'm just looking at the director, and the director of this was the same as Blade Man, Iron Man, the young drama where he had blades. And yeah, that wasn't a good drama. I don't think I'll be watching this one.
Yeah, I don't think so. In a month that has more than 10 premiering dramas, I'm going to have to be very selective, and there are some more that we still have to talk about that I'm very excited for. So, but before we get there, Secret Boutique, September 18th, SBS. It's going to be 32 half-hour episodes, Wednesday, Thursday. And it stars Kim Suna and Kim Jae-young. And it's about Kim Suna, who plays someone who's poor and who works at a bathhouse in Gangnam. But she starts a new job for a housemaid for a chaebol family, and she becomes successful and runs a boutique. And she begins work as a lobbyist. So it's, I think, also kind of related to like corruption and power and all of that kind of stuff. But Kim Suna, as a successful, scrappy businesswoman, that started from like a low class. That sounds pretty cool.
Again, it's not calling my name. No hate, but like...
Yeah, not a huge fan of Kim Suna. But this is a reunion of Kim Suna and the director who previously worked with her in... hold on one second.
Is it the Woman of Dignity director?
No. It is Scent of a Woman. Scent of a Woman. Yeah.
I do like Kim Suna a lot, but I'm not interested in this premise, to be honest.
Yeah, this doesn't sound interesting. Not to put anyone else off
No,
it,
no, like,
because
it sounds cool, but just not my thing, so.
Yeah. Or not my thing at the moment. At the moment. Because you might, like, in a year from now, be willing to watch something that's in that wheelhouse. And
Right.
you'll be like, okay, yeah.
Right. What I am very excited about, though, is Vagabond.
Oh.
yes.
September 20th, SBS, 48 half-hour episodes, Friday, Saturday. It stars Lee Seung-gi, Suzy, Shin Sung-ruk, Moon Jung-hee. Come to me now, my baby. So the premise is Gun, who is Lee Seung-gi's character, is a stuntman who dreams of becoming a world-famous action actor. He survives a plane crash, which changes his life, and faces a hidden conspiracy behind the plane crash, digging up a national corruption case. So this is like the hero of My Girlfriend is a Nine-Tailed Fox, except like it's an action drama instead of a rom-com. Like, is that what's going on here?
I mean, this rings summer blockbuster. I'm surprised it's airing in September, especially since it was pre-produced.
Yeah, it was pre-produced. Oh, and Suzy plays an NIS agent who is potentially like shady or like undercover doing something, but it's fully pre-produced and it cost 20 billion won, which is $18.6 million. So it's very expensive. It's also the fourth collaboration between director Yoo In-sik and scriptwriters Jang Young-chul and Jung Kyung-soon, who did Giant, History of a Salaryman, and Incarnation of Money, which were all really good dramas. Heavy hitters here, which makes sense why they got that much money to make this.
So did either of you watch Goo Family Book back
I did not, no.
Whenever?
I did not either.
Because people were unhappy with that drama. I didn't, but I do remember the reaction, which was they hated the ending.
Yeah, but that's down to the writing, right? I don't know. I don't think that anyone had a problem with Lee Seung-gi and Suzy together, as far as I can recall.
So I hope as a reunion this will pay off.
I do find that both actors are pretty hit or miss with their choices in dramas. But I am excited for Shin Sung-ruk, which he's really, he plays extra characters
Extra
really
is the
well.
perfect description.
The extra, but it's not overacting. It's extra, but it's not overacting. Like your soul is poured into the character, and you're like, yes, go.
And Lee Seung-gi is always good. Suzy, I'm like not a huge fan of, but she's okay. Like,
oh, I quite like her. I've only seen her in While You Were Sleeping, and I really liked her in that.
She's really pretty,
She really is. I mean, that's half of it. You're like, if I enjoy looking at you, I can pretty much enjoy everything else.
Yeah, I mean, her acting leaves a lot to be desired, but
not as much as Harry. That is all I have to say.
Of who?
Harry, the entertainer person.
Oh, she has a September drama too coming up, so we'll talk about her.
Yeah, exactly. Which made me scream, "No! Hard pass."
Well, I guess we know what you're not watching.
So yeah, are you excited for this one? Are you going to watch it?
With all the dramas airing, especially since I'm more excited for the one with the 4 guys, the Joseon marriage agency, I'm more excited for that one, and I have to be very selective. So Vagabond might be.
I'm excited for the 4 guys. I like how she totally reveals that.
Hey now, there's no shaming on this podcast.
I'm not shaming, I'm praising. I'm like admiring this, like, you know what you want and you go for it. That's like, what's better than that?
I mean, 4 against Lee Seung-gi, I'm gonna go for 4.
True. Your maths is good.
Yeah.
So the next one is called Pegasus Market, or Cheap Chalima Mart, and it's premiering on September 20th on TVN. It's 12 episodes and it only airs on Friday. It's kind of an unusual sounding premise. It's basically about this like little mart that's struggling, but it's owned by a conglomerate, and they send in this little like this new CEO who wants to like take revenge on the conglomerate. So he like wants it to fail, but then once he gets there, he starts to care about it, and they I guess it's going to be one of those heartwarming, like, revive the small business types. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I like that.
And it's only a 12 episoder, so it's like, the perfect length.
Yeah. 12 episodes tend to be, I find that shows that are shorter, but like not too short, the 12 episode
I'm
ones
like a
tend to
broken
be
record
good.
on saying that 12 episodes
Yeah.
is the perfect length for
Yeah.
any story, really. Especially rom-coms, yes.
Especially rom-coms, but yeah.
Case in point,
Yeah.
Top Star Ubek.
Was that only 12 episodes?
It was only 12, but I didn't finish it, but that's just because maybe there was too many things
it was
at
so
the time.
good. You should go back and watch it. It was like the subbing was a little bit sporadic and like
Yes.
but it may be like fully and properly subtitled by now. It's been a few months. That one was so good. All right. Sorry for the Top Star Ubek. I have to always
we know
plug
you're
that.
a Kim fan, girl.
Yeah. That was just such a perfect little rom-com. Like it just was so. It was like a little.
It felt like a throwback to the 2000s.
Yeah, and in the good way, not in the bad way. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, for the next one.
The next one is A Day Found by Chance, or Haru Found by Chance. It's premiering on September 25th on NBC. Again, 32 half-hour episodes, and it's Wednesday, Thursday. And it stars Kim Hye-yoon, Rowoon, and Lee Jae-wook. And the only one I recognize out of those three is Lee Jae-wook because he was the drama actor boyfriend of Lee in Search WWW. So I kind of want to watch this just for him because he's very good.
I'm super excited for this one.
So you've got Dano, who is played by Kim Hye-yoon, and she's a student at a prestigious academy, and she has a heart condition. And by chance, one day she discovers that she and everyone else in her world are actually characters in a manhwa called Secret. And the worst thing is that she's a minor character in the story, and she's expected to die soon, and she's like not having that. And she decides to forge her own destiny and changes the story's plot to find her own true love. And I'm actually really excited about this one. My sister's been reading this webtoon for like months, and she's been making me translate chapters of it, like because she's been keeping up with it like live.
Oh, wow!
So it's like. She drags me in there and she's like, translate this chapter for me, and it's like it's quite fun for me to sit there like just translating the chapter because I don't really read webtoons. And she told me the other day, oh, you know, Alpha, did you know that that webtoon that I made you translate, that they're actually making a drama out of it? And I was like, ooh, sounds good, because it sounds kind of like a dialed down version of W2 Worlds, the Lee Jung-suk drama. But except where he was the main character, this is about the minor characters. It's really exciting. I'm very excited for this one.
I kind of love the premise.
I like anything that has a girl taking her own destiny. And then you have Kim Hye-yoon. She was in Sky Castle, where she made a pretty iconic character, like a pretty spoiled character, iconic and lovable, right?
Oh, that's right. That's Kim Hye-yoon. Yeah, she was so good.
So I'm excited for her. And there's the two male leads that are I mean, I've seen him. Rowan was in what's that show? The one with the planes. The plane show.
Fox Bride Star?
Right. Oh, that one. Yeah, that one. Oh dear. He was good in it though. He was cute in it. I didn't have an issue with him.
I mean, he's good looking, so that's all you can say about him for now. The plot seems really interesting, and that's another one I'm excited for.
Yeah, I think this is definitely one I'm going to pick up as soon as it comes out.
So the next one, which also looks great, which I don't know, I'm going back to school this week, so I don't know what I'm going to do about all these amazing shows that are airing in September, but it's called Melting Me Softly.
Don't sleep.
Yeah, no sleep. Well, already no sleep because of school, so I don't know. I need to start writing my thesis, so I think I'm going to have to just ban myself from K-dramas. So anyway, this one is called Melting Me Softly. I think it's airing on September 28th, but this is one of those that's unsure whether it's actually airing in September or not. But it stars, it's TVN, 16 episodes, Saturday, Sunday, and it stars Ji Chang-wook, Won Jin-ah, and Yoon Se-ah, which all of those three
is an amazing
are on my
cast.
favorites. Yeah, and it's basically about a man and a woman who participated in this project that was supposed to cryogenically freeze them for 24 hours, but they ended up being frozen for 20 years. And now they have to keep their body temperature at 31.5 degrees Celsius. Otherwise they'll die. But they're also falling in love with each other. So that's going to be a problem. And then Yoon Se-ah plays Ji Chang-wook's first love. So now she's way older than he is. So he kind of has to readjust to life now that all his peers are 20 years older. And so it looks weird but interesting. What do you guys think?
It reminds me of you know that movie with Jennifer Lawrence was frozen, or I don't know, in space with this other dude.
Oh, yeah. I know which one you're
Yeah.
talking
The
about, but I
something-
can't remember the name of the film.
I heard that was really bad and creepy.
The one with, was it, what's
They
his
like
name?
wake up early from, they're supposed to be like frozen and sent to this other country or like a planet to start a new life, but both of them like wake up too early. And then they fall in love.
Like the writer takes source material from that premise, and then she makes it a bit funnier with you know, the body temperature. But I'm also feeling like it's not gonna be funny. It's gonna be more like drama, you know, like sad, like, oh, we can't be together. No. Anyway, it's interesting, but it's like if it annoys me too much, I'm dropping it.
Passengers,
you know?
I think, is the film that you're thinking of.
Passengers, yes.
With
I heard that was a train wreck.
Dude, is it one of the Hemsworths? No, Chris Pratt. Sorry, they're all like blonde type of tall white men. I can't tell the difference.
All the Chris's.
Yeah, although Chris, Chris Pratt is my least favorite of the Chris's. So
yeah.
In real life and also in his movie roles.
I mean, I like him, but okay, it's just I have no opinion there. You know?
I feel like this is very much down to execution. Like, it could be awesome with lots of interesting like humor and pathos and angst and conflict and all that stuff, and like cast can definitely pull that off. Right. But if the writing is bad, then
this drama is going to swing on its writing. So basically, it's all about,
we all know they can act.
Yeah,
you know? But,
exactly.
Yeah. Next is The Tale of Nokdu, which I think we heard about this initially a few months ago as Mungbean Chronicles, and this is also based on a webtoon. It's premiering on September 30th on KBS with 32 episodes. This one is a Monday-Tuesday, so there are
the
some
last one in that slot
still around.
And after this one, it's gonna go.
Right. So it stars Jang Dong-yoon and Kim So-hyun. And it's about the lead character is actually named Nokdu. So he's the son of a noble family, but he is not happy with his arranged marriage. So he runs away and goes to a widow village and pretends to be a woman.
This is like a gender bender for boys. It's so good. It's like,
it is, right? Instead of running away to be a historian, he like runs away. So he meets Kim So-hyun, who is an apprentice gisang, and she figures out that he's a woman, and she also doesn't want to become a gisang. So basically, it's their hijinks together, and them kind of getting involved with each other. Oh, no, wait. She becomes his adopted daughter.
What's so random?
That was an unexpected twist. This is also based on a webtoon, by the way. The webtoon is called Nokdu-jun, which basically means the tale of Nokdu.
I have conflicting feelings about this because I'm excited because of Jang Do-hyun. You know, he dresses as a woman, and that will be fun. But I don't like Kim So-hyun. No,
you don't? I'm hoping. Yeah, she's had a bad few roles.
I find she overacts. Like with her eyebrows, they keep moving. I don't know.
I haven't actually watched her recent few roles. I think, Saya, you're the one who's watched her most recently, right? In her last few things.
Yeah, I mean, I just the last thing I saw her in was Radio Romance, which really I've just gone off her since then, and I didn't really like her in Ruler, Master of the Mask either. Yeah, I mean, there's something lacking in her acting. Like, there's things she can't do. She has quite a limited range, and she hasn't gone past that yet. But Jang Dong-yoon is really exciting, and I'm so excited to see him do this role, because if anyone can do pulling off a girl,
he's so good. And
he kind of semi-did this. Yeah. He semi-did it in the one that he just did with what's it called?
Just Dance.
Right, yeah, Just Dance. Where he was like the one boy who was who joined a girls group of dancers, and he actually kind of dressed up like he had to pass himself off as a girl in that, and he's got these quite sort of delicate features, and he's quite like lightly built.
He's slender.
So he's got exactly. He's got that look that can, you just give him the right clothes and the right hair, and he can do this. But also as an actor, he's got really good range. Like, his emotions, he can pull you right in. Like, he's
got the intensity.
You guys saw him. Right, and like in Poem a Day, he didn't get to show as much of it. But for example, watch him in something like Solomon's Perjury, and he's amazing.
Wasn't he in School 2017 too, as the estranged best friend?
Yes.
Yeah. So he does. He can pull off the humor. He can pull off a lot of stuff. I'm not worried about him. Kim So-hyun, I feel like she was really good when she was still doing teenager roles. And then she was pushed into these adult roles like a little too quickly. So I'm hoping that this sounds like it might be a little bit more age
Might actually
appropriate
be
for
a good
her.
fit for her.
So maybe, and if she's playing his adopted daughter, then maybe it's not a romance.
Well, I feel like maybe it will go there. It will end up there.
Yeah, no, that's very doubtful. But
thing is, like, Kim So-hyun is
Yeah,
fine
it
when
probably
she's
will.
doing stuff
Okay,
like
never mind.
dramatic stuff, like heavy kind of non-romance, non-light things. But I don't find her very good comedically, and I don't find her very good romantically. So I feel like maybe the pairing, like her co-star, will make a difference here because he's young.
He's more
and-
appropriate for her than like
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe they'll play
Jun.
off each other more naturally.
Yeah,
exactly. So
We'll see.
hopefully.
Yeah.
But like also like in Ruler, where she was co-starring with Yoo again, I felt like that was a bit too much of an age, like a maturity gap. It's not so much the age gap there, but the maturity gap. She hasn't quite. She is like, she's what, 19 or something now, but she can still easily play like a 15-year-old and not like, and be totally convincing. But yeah, I'm not so sure about her in adult roles, but the fact that this isn't an adult role is reassuring, or at least more age matched.
Yeah. I think it also depends on the tone. Like if it has the tone of like a youth manhwa turned drama, that could work. But if they try to make it really like a darker saga, I don't know if that how that would
Wait,
work.
why is Jang Dong-yun 27?
Wait, what?
Oh, you didn't know that? I was wondering.
Yeah.
I think
I was wondering, more age appropriate, and I'm like, wait, he's old too.
I think of him in
As
high
high
school
schoolers
uniform.
for like the last 3 things. All I've seen him
No,
in.
he was old in there too.
That's interesting. Okay.
Why is he 27? This is too old.
All right. Well, I guess our whole argument just went out the window. I mean, he's still younger than Jun, but not by much.
True. Yeah.
But he has a baby face. Like he has a younger vibe than Jun.
Yeah.
Again, he could play 15 and totally like it works.
Yeah. So the last drama on our list is called Miss Lee. It's September, but unspecified date on TVN, Wednesday, Thursday. This is the one that Saya is definitely not going to watch because it stars Haeri and also Kim Sang-kyung. I also don't really like Haeri, so I'm not singling you out, Saya.
But you can, though. I really dislike
She was the young star of Reply 1988.
Yeah, but I haven't seen that, so I
watched one episode, but I never went back to it. So, but she is notoriously not very good at acting.
She has the peculiar quality of the moment she appears on screen, everything is awful, and the moment she's gone, the everything is instantly 10,000 times better just because she's not there.
That's harsh.
But you don't understand. Like, I watched Entertainer, all of it, without fast forwarding because I didn't know how to fast forward then. I also watched Two Cops, and you're like, there were parts of the show I was enjoying, and I'd suddenly realize it's because she wasn't there. And then she'd turn up and it would all grind to a halt. And you're like, how do you have this?
Yeah, it's like a weird like charisma black hole thing that she's got going on.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like anti-charisma.
It's weird.
I don't know. Yeah. Can I go back to the drama before for 1 second, because I'm really excited by what I just found out, which is that Tale of Nokdu is written by the same writer as the drama special If We Were a Season, also Moonlight Drawn by Clouds. But like, I love this writer. So that's another reason to check that out.
Lighthearted. He knows how to do lighthearted, but like hearty as well. You know.
Is this a he or a she? Imagine
sounds like a woman. No, so she can pull off like a romantic youth saga.
Yeah. Okay, we can move on. Sorry.
All right, no worries. Back to Miss Lee. I know that you're much less excited about this, but it's basically about So Hae's character basically works at an electronics store as a clerk. But she always just gets called Miss Lee. Like, nobody calls her by her name. She doesn't have much of a presence there, but then suddenly she becomes the CEO of this electronics store, which is about to become bankrupt. And so they basically, her and Kim Sang-kyung have to revive the company and bring it back to its previous glory. Yeah, me too.
Nah.
Doesn't sound that
No, it really
interesting.
doesn't.
Who comes up with these plots?
Okay.
I don't know. When you have 10 drama slots that you need to fill in a month, I'm sure that not all of them can be amazing.
Or maybe it's better than it is and they need a better blurb writer, because this is not,
To be fair, it wasn't
an appealing
written by the
synopsis.
people who are creating the drama. It's Asian Wiki, so
True.
who knows?
Well, I will not be checking it out, so
No.
if it's a can't be missed drama,
We'll find out. Yeah, we'll hear
let us
about it.
know,
I'm
I
sure.
guess.
But yeah,
I think that covers
that's
everything.
the end of the extremely long list of premieres in September.
That went by faster than I thought. But also,
Yay. Maybe because I was here.
yeah, I mean, you're like a pro. Do you want to just, like, take over?
No,
No, I meant it as a
No, I
bad way.
appreciate it that you were
You're
very
the exact
much
one
nice.
to come in.
no,
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Just
And you
got like
came
her
in with this
precise-
perfect timing.
Exactly. Very concise opinions. Like, she knows what she wants to watch. She knows what she doesn't want to watch. It's great.
4 guys watch it. 1 guy, no.
It's very mathematical.
That's your
precise.
take-home message.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you're a scientist.
Right.
It all comes down to numbers.
Then you have like us
And
humanities
chemistry.
people who are like, I'm really feeling this. I'm definitely going to watch it. And then like next month didn't watch any of the things that I said I was going to watch.
because my time management sucks, and also I realized I'm old and I need to sleep.
This is true.
Okay, so one thing I do have to say is that I'm usually not a big fan of sageuk's, and it turns out that the ones I'm more interested in are sageuk's. So, I mean, hooray for me for diversity, I guess, and that's all I have to say.
Have you been watching Rookie Historian Gu
Yeah,
Hye-ryun?
I'm really enjoying it. It's like one of those things where, like, I'm not too excited to watch the next episode, but when I do turn it on, it just, it flows easily, and I don't find myself forwarding too much. And when I say forwarding too much, it's inevitable. I forward everything. So,
Oh wow, you do. Huh?
Where have you been all my life?
You need to teach Saya your skills.
The skills.
I'm self-taught now.
No, you're right. I also don't tend to be as excited for the sageuk's, but I'm really loving Rookie Historian, and I think I enjoy the sageuk's that are not as focused on the king's court politics and which people in his, which party is trying to, usurp his. Yeah,
Sabotage.
exactly. I just am not interested in all that stuff. So when it's more about
Politics.
the social structures of Joseon and like the class inequality and the how women are treated, how like that kind of stuff, or Live Up to Your Name, where it was a lot about medicine back in those times and that kind of stuff. I find that a lot more interesting. So.
Yeah.
I actually really love traditional sageuk. That's kind of like my bread and water that I grew up on. Although for me, it wasn't Korean sageuk. It was like Hindi epics. So we have this channel here, Channel 4, which back in the day used to air on Sunday mornings. It used to air like Hindi dramas, Hindi serials. So that was like my first exposure to. There was this particular one. I don't know if anybody who listens to us has ever heard of this, but it's called The Sword of Tipu Sultan. And it was this like 90s epic historical, and it was so like I loved it. It was where I learned it's where I learned stuff like colonial history in India, because it had the whole occupation and things like that. So that kind of thing has always really like excited and fascinated me. And when I discovered K-dramas, discovering sageuk was like rediscovering that whole childhood like fascination with like history and politics and court and all of that. And so I love it, and I know Borma loves this too, because like we both like the
you guys both
politics.
do.
So traditional sagas are like, they are good for me. But I really appreciate that the light-hearted saga is a completely different type of story. It's like it gives you that setting and context, but it tells you like the more sort of grounded stories of like individuals, not like these sprawling epics. So they're two different kinds of stories. So I can see like why one type like that epic historical might not be for everyone. But it's nice to be able to access the Saguk world through these like more lighthearted ones.
All right, I think we're gonna have to wrap up because Boroma has told us to keep it under 90 minutes, and we have like 1 minute left before we get to that point. And we should be good and listen to our editor because she's an angel. And yes, poor thing.
A very sick angel. That's why she couldn't join us today, which we didn't even say in the beginning. Oh my god. We're such terrible co-hosts.
Yes, she wasn't able to join us.
So she couldn't join us today because
feel better,
she's ill.
Boroma. And thank you so much, Jess, for joining us and helping us to decode and decipher next month's premieres as well as the news.
I had fun. Thank you.
And can I say that you're a complete natural, and I'm amazed and impressed.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think I'll be listening to my own recording because I hate to hear myself on recording, but...
You must. You'll sound smarter than you think. We always
you have
do.
A great radio voice. You have like a very calm presence.
Editing magic.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so thanks for listening, everyone.
Yes.
And we will leave you here.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.